All right, we are walking up here to the point where we stopped yesterday with the tractor and cutting in the curvy road down to the barn, down to the shop. I stopped. The only thing I did this morning is I did get the chainsaw up here and started clearing out some of the brush. I'll show you that. So now you can see it's cleared up to where the truck is. I also went through in these pink landscaping flags. Where is it? Right there. Did one there, and then there's some back there. I don't know if you can see them. Let's see. See all the way back there, right there. So that's the outer part of the turn, and this right here is the inner part of the turn. So the road's going to curve right up through there. We also have now marked 5 trees for sure, and then we might end up going a 6th and 7th. We'll see. That will need to be cut down to be able to clear this out. But a lot of what I've been doing so far here today has been talking to a couple of contractors in particular. This has quickly turned from being just a quick little project of making this road in here to we're gonna get this thing finished. So the guy who's gonna come in and do this is also gonna help us out with getting the pad prepped for the shop. There's a lot of that shale that we're gonna blast. We're gonna try and scrape it, but we're probably gonna end up blasting, and we'll repurpose it for fill on the low end. So we're gonna cut and blast on the high end, and then we're gonna fill on the low end so that we get it built up so that we've got as much of a level plane to start with, and then we'll import additional 5-inch or 2.5-inch rock based on whatever we need to be able to get it so that we've got the entire pad level, and then we'll go with some smaller gravel on top of that to compact and get it ready to go to be able to pour concrete. But while he's out here doing that, we're going to have a professional tree service come and cut down some of these big guys. I've also marked maybe 4. There are 4 other large trees around where the shop's gonna be, and then there's maybe another, I don't know, 4, 6. We're probably looking at like 15 to 18 large trees that we're gonna be taking down that are either at risk, they're either in the way, or they're at risk of wind possibly knocking them down onto the buildings. And we also have a couple of guys, it might be hard to see with the sun and the clouds here, but like this, that have split tops like that. And as they get taller and heavier, the risk of those with one of the trunks breaking off and then creating instability for the rest of the tree, we're gonna take those out as well. Now that one, it likely is not at any risk for the shed here or the road because it's on the downhill side. But right below there is where we're gonna start working on the house. So even if we have something this winter or next winter and that thing goes, you might as well just get it all done at one time while they're out here, and we'll let the pros do it. And we're gonna store the logs so that we've got a little bit of a stockpile going. Not exactly sure what we're gonna do with that yet, whether that's firewood or we might be milling at some point. But we'll get those set aside. But I'm just walking up here just so you can kind of see now finally the connection from the road that's coming down here, and it's gonna come right through here, and it's gonna sweep down, and this is gonna have to get cut down a few feet, like probably, I don't know, 2 or 3 feet down here as it's coming down that slope. And then just to be able to make this connection here, and this part down here, by where the tractor is, that might have to get built up a little bit. But we're gonna have the large excavator out here, we're gonna have the bulldozer out here, we'll have the mini X out here. And we're just gonna knock out a lot of these projects and get everything done and done well. And then on these roads also, we're gonna put down our underlayment and like a 5-inch minus rock and then a 2.5-inch minus rock on top of it. So it won't be a nice smooth finished gravel road, but it's gonna be safe enough for the concrete trucks to be able to get in and down here where we need them to. So I've been working and talking to them and just kind of walking the site and going through all the different projects and stuff like that today. And so that's kind of where we're at. I haven't done any digging But one of the things that we're gonna need to do, I'm probably getting close to my stopping point on this now that I've marked everything up and we know where the road's gonna be. I'm going to try and salvage the 10 truckloads of gravel that we've put down on the existing driveway. Now, not all 10 of those are where we're gonna try and pick them up from, but there's probably a good 4 or 5 loads worth. So I'm gonna see what I can't do. I'm gonna scrape it up. I'm not gonna be too precise with it, but I will try and salvage whatever I can and get a stockpile going somewhere. And maybe that's what we can use when we're ready to put the finished top, 3/4 inch minus on the finished road at that point. But we're gonna get that out of the way. We're gonna have high uphill side trenches so that we are mitigating any ice and freezing that we have on all of our driveways. I don't think we have any situations where we need culvert, because all the water on the high driveway is gonna slope downhill, and then when it makes the turn here and it comes down here, we will have some water here. So we might have to do a culvert of some sort right in here just to be able to shed the water down the hill there before it gets over to the pad for the shop. But I guess all of the waterworks, it seems like we're gonna be in better shape going into winter with the road set up the way that we're working it now than I think with what we have. I think we were just gonna have an icy, gravel slide for 3 months of the year, pretty much. So I'm walking over here to the current state of the shop pad, and it is a big old rocky, muddy mess right now from all the rain that we had in the last 24 hours. A lot of what's in here there is dirt, but it's you've got the shale chunks. They're maybe like the size of a fist, and I can't get into this much more with the blade of the tractor at this point. So I was at the point where I thought we were just gonna have to be able to import and build up the pad, but this is the part that we're going to be blasting all across here. There's a big old rock over here. I'm gonna scrape at least the stuff that's on the top off of that, but we're gonna be drilling down and blasting, and everything that comes off of that is gonna be a lot like the chunks of the shale right here. We're gonna take that and we're gonna get it all the way down here to the low side and fill this up. And the more we can fill this up here, the less we have to go spend and import. So while blasting is a little expensive, because we have an immediate use for the rock that we're going to be blasting, it's probably going to end up saving money in the long run, which is good. It kind of scared me once he recommended it at first, but once he explained it and what we think we're gonna get as a net benefit, it makes a lot of sense. So I'm walking up here now above so you can kind of see the whole pad. The boys playing on the dirt pile over there. And then here's some of the trees that we've marked. So I got a couple of big guys. This one right here by the corner of the barn. I got another one over there that's dead on top. And then there are 5 other ones that are back here, kind of behind this back corner of where the shop's gonna be. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 right here. And then over here is the 5th one, the big guy over there. So we're gonna take these all out now, because it's better to do that now than after they rot or something happens and the wind comes and they blow them onto the shop that we spend a lot of time building. So I wanted to keep them, which is why they're still here, and I hadn't really pursued cutting them down, but once they looked at it, they recommended that we do it now. It's a lot easier with the open space than it will be when you've got buildings there and then a leach field down here, a road here. So I agreed with them. I think we should get these things out of here now. It'll be a lot easier. There's no risk of any damage to any structures. So let's just do it. Let's get it done. We'll store the logs. We don't really have any sort of a log stockpile at this point, even though we have a ton of timber on the property. So I don't know what we'll use that for, if that's timber, firewood, or if we'll use them for maybe milling or something in the long run. So we'll see. So that's an update. That's a lot. It was a busy day. I didn't get anything done on the ground, but other than just marking some things off and talking to a lot of people. Cleared a little bit of brush, but I'm going to actually start on clearing up some of the gravel right now, getting that off the driveway. The contractor wanted me to start in this corner up there by the white truck, and that way if they have a shot here in the next few days to get down here and start working on the corner all the way up there by the truck. So I'm gonna get all the gravel out of the way there. I have no clue where I'm gonna put the gravel at this point, but I'm gonna start at least scraping off what I can. I'm not aiming for 100% of it, but I also don't want a ton of dirt mixed into it, so I'd probably rather keep it pure as best as I can at this point. I just got to find a good place to store it. But we'll get that all out of the way. I think all the brush for the most part's cleared. I've marked the driveway off so he knows the general direction that we want to go. Yeah, and then the last thing that I've been working on today as well has been with the power company, and the designer engineer has been on the phone with me because we were working on what do we need to do for the conduit and the trenching to be able to get power to the property. So I thought we had a good plan, and we were going to put an easement in place that we were going to have permission from the neighbor up the hill from us, but he didn't like that just because there's already this driveway easement right here that goes all the way up. And then to have another, I think it's a 12-foot easement for the power line would have just been an extra, unnecessary burden. So I certainly understand where he's coming from. So what we'll end up doing with that is we're going to change up the design a little bit. The box is going to go in a different location, but on the downhill side of the driveway up here, once we get that all cut and trenched and sloped and graded the way we want it, I think we're gonna, while we have the excavator out here, we'll dig our trench on the downhill side of the road. We got to get 3 feet down, and we got to go almost the whole way. And right up in this clearing area, right up here, is about the point where the west side of the easement intersects with our property line. So I'm gonna move the stakes that we had from over there up here. This is probably gonna be the spot for our transformer and our meter. And then the power company is gonna come out. We're just gonna walk it and make sure the stakes are all in the right spot. So that might be one other project that we get done while we've got the excavator out here. And the last thing is this particular contractor is also certified in doing the complex septic. So the complex septic, I haven't called everybody, but I've called a lot of contractors around here. And while I probably could have been a lot more persistent and diligent about making the phone calls, everyone I really talked to, they contemplated it. And then they kind of looked a little bit at their job backlog and how much time we have left on the calendar this year. And they came back and they said they couldn't squeeze us in. So I kind of got to a point where I was just resolved we weren't going to have our septic system in this year, which isn't the end of the world. But this contractor is certified in complex septic as a complex installer. So we're probably going to be up against getting the right material. We need to get the right size tank. Those are a few weeks out at best at this point. So we could be up against that. But the nice part is I'm dealing with one person, and we're getting all of these different jobs done that quite frankly, there's nothing in there that I could have done myself. So to get all this done, work through one person, just a great time talking to him. I think good rapport. I feel that he's pretty honest and candid too, which is good. You want to be able to have candor with somebody so that you're getting good advice and good feedback on the types of the scope of the project and what you want to take on. So I feel like at least kind of spending half a day going over all this with them, I feel like we got a good partner for what we need to do and getting these jobs done. And we got a chance that we might get the septic in this year too, which I had all but written off. So we'll see. There will be a lot going on here in the next few weeks. But I feel like we're back on track. We might be taking a 1 week delay from when our posts and steel are ready to when the actual concrete slab's ready to go and start installing. But that's not a huge delay at this point. And to have that whole concrete slab done, have everything to to grade, a good foundation, I think it's well worth it. And there's certainly corners that we can cut when we're building the shop too, to accelerate the build process, such as we don't necessarily need to put the frame in the windows this year. We can just go around and put full pieces of steel up on the sides, and we'll be fine for winter. And we can obviously take the pieces back down next year and then frame in our windows and then reinstall the steel. So stuff like that we can shortcut. We don't need to sheet the roof this year. We can just go the steel right on top of the roof purlins, and then we can take that down again next summer, and sheet the roof, get our all the underlayment, everything that we need on the roof done. So that can be accelerated. We got the shop, all the garage doors ordered. So it's 2 large garage doors and 2 small ones. Same thing there. We could temporarily frame up over the 2 small doors. We could do that. And then just to help save on having those 2 extra openings that we need to get the garage doors installed. So we're gonna look for some shortcuts as we need to, depending on what the weather does and how fast the construction is progressing on the shop. But I feel like we're in a position where we're gonna probably be pressed up till the end of December at this point. But I think we got a shot where we can get the trailer inside on concrete and with 4 walls and a roof, which is exciting. It's just gonna be a lot of work here over the next 3 months, but I think it's well within reach, and certainly by soliciting the help that we did from these other contractors, that's gonna help us make it a reality. And I'm kind of kicking myself that I didn't start reaching out to people sooner. I should have been doing this a few months ago, and then we would have had it lined up a little bit better. But all right, so I'm gonna cut it right here. Gave you a pretty good update. We're going to get some of these small projects together, but I'm gonna make sure that we do a lot of documenting. We're gonna do a lot of documenting of, so we're gonna be doing a lot of documenting of all of the work that we have, getting this pad ready, getting the road cut in, getting the fabric done, getting all the rock and the gravel dropped, getting these trees felled, even the blasting out this rock right here. I think it's gonna be exciting to watch. So we'll make sure we capture it on film and we can share it. I just gotta keep up with these guys, because I think they're getting ready to come in here and slam this job out here really quickly for us. So it'll be exciting over the next few weeks. All right, I'm gonna end it there.